Hey, and welcome. Now, you may not recognize this level, but this is map 22 in the beta version of Doom 2. It's a completely different level with aspects that would appear in the spirit world, which I think is map 28. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show this off very quickly just to acknowledge that this is map 22, but I'm actually going to discuss this level that you're seeing here in full properly when we get to the spirit worlds, because I think that's a much better discussion. Plus, the Catacombs has its own interesting little story. As you can see, this is the room from the spirit worlds. This is a whole level, so we'll get back to this when we get to the spirit worlds later on. But I did want to just acknowledge it. So welcome to the Catacombs, or at least what you think is the Catacombs. For you see, this is normally map 22 in Doom 2, but this, what you're seeing here in the beta, is actually from map 4. The focus is actually not in the beta version of Doom 2, instead the Catacombs is at level 4. And when you're playing through this version of the level, it becomes very apparent very quickly that this was probably intended to be level 4, and then at some point it got kicked back. So you can see the blue sky from that first Doom 2 portion, and you can also see that there are not that many chain gunners dotted around this level. There's more shotgunners and lower tier enemies, which makes it a lot easier. There's no spectres in the toxic there, for example. It's the same level, so the layout is pretty much exactly the same. But where, example here, you'd bump into chain gunners, you just bump into shotgunners, and obviously that makes this level a lot easier. So we're going to take care of all these imps here. In my opinion, this is one of the tightest levels in Doom 2. It's not a long level, but it certainly has its own little charm. And I think that definitely it's one of the stronger levels in the final part of Doom 2. But getting to play a version of this level like this where it's definitely kind of seen as a much easier experience is pretty interesting. So we're going to dive into the blue door here. So again, in the final version of this level, if you play this on ultraviolence, there are 3 chain gunners in that door there, in that little secret compartment. So there are little touches here and there that just kind of give away that, oh, that was a nasty hit. This was supposed to be an easier level. I'm guessing because it's such a strong level design, they were like, well, we need something to go in the back end of the game, and this was thrown in there. It's interesting seeing how some of these levels, like what I showed you at the start of this video, would ultimately be changed, chopped up, and kind of put into other levels to accommodate the difficulty curve. Personally, I like this level where it is in the original retail release. I've always thought this level was quite a nice challenge. It's very tightly designed, and I think it's one of the better Doom 2 levels because it has a strong focus, and the challenge is made a lot easier if you go around and collect all the weapons that you can. But as you can see, even at the end of the level here, we're only facing off against 2 shotgunners, which, I mean, it's fascinating to see that this level was intended to be a much easier level. And do I think it was a better level than the retail release? Well, let's find out as we actually dive into that version now. So this is the Catacombs level that you probably know and love. Now you can see here, instead of there being shotgunners like there were in the beta level, there's actually a bunch of chain gunners dotted about in there. There's also a spectre in here. And you'll be seeing a lot of like changes like that as we run through the level here. There's also a plasma rifle in here. I don't think there was one of these in the beta version of this level. So you see we have the red sky there, and the chain gunners are back, and the spectres, and there's bony boys. So this part of the level for me has always been the bit that I remember about this one. It's so chaotic, and there's just so many enemies trying to hit you all at once. Whether or not you like that, well, it pretty much depends on how much your mileage varies in terms of intensity, but personally I've always found it pretty fun. Now we'll hit this switch here. We didn't do this in the beta version. I don't know if there was even a switch there, but it will let us get to the rocket launcher, which is in the middle. You can see again, more use of chain gunners here. So we'll take out these imps here. So I'm hoping I telefragged this bony boy. Oh, we did. Nice. That's probably the best outcome we could have hoped for there. Grab the blue key here, and then run over here to grab the rocket launcher. Gonna use this to get rid of the bony boy over there. Take out some of the chain gunners over there. But you can see what I mean when I said that the difficulty is a lot sharper in this version. There's a lot more chain gunners and there's a lot more obstacles like spectres and bony boys in the way trying to get their hands on you. And that makes it a lot more difficult. So when we come in here, you'll see there's 3 chain gunners rather than just the one that we saw in the beta version. This part is almost completely unchanged, so this forced encounter with the Baron, I imagine if this had made it to level 4, I imagine that would have been like a brief test of skill, because you don't really get that on the Focus. There are no Barons on that version of the level, so I'm assuming they were holding that back a bit, just because they felt new players may struggle against a Baron like that in such a confined space. I can only speculate, but as you can see, the room is back to its normal shape here. I don't quite know why they changed that, but it's also interesting that the exit door, even in the retail version, makes use of the Doom 1 exit door. That's really interesting. I'm surprised that wasn't changed. But overall, I do like the Catacombs, and we'll take a look at one more version here, and that's the PS1 version. As you can see, the difficulty is pretty much on par with the PC version, but there are a few enemies that get swapped out throughout the level, and I'll point them out as we kind of make our way through here. As you can see, this secret over here is still very much in use. We're going to be needing that armor on this version of the level, so we've got to be super quick here. Like, it's super quick. Yeah, it's very easy to get trapped in that room and be forced into the middle here. Luckily, with all the plasma ammo that you can pick up on this middle bit, it actually isn't that bad as long as you grab that armor before you come out here. It is one of those things where this level can challenge players who are probably not ready for this kind of intense, like, little burst of enemies just all around you. I want to get rid of that pinky. Thank you. So we're going to dive in here. But as you can see, the layout hasn't actually changed that much between all these versions of a level, well, except for, you know, obviously that original beta level that's in slot 22, but more or less this is just a very solid, tight, but very short level that I think it does just enough, I think, to justify its existence. Take care of you. So I'm going to run over and we're going to head down the blue key door here. So we're going to get rid of these pinkies here. That chain gunner has been consistent in all of these versions, so it's fun to shoot him. So if we go here, we'll see, yes, it's still 3 chain gunners. Now I'm thinking, should I go for that rocket launcher? Because we are obviously going to be going down there, and I wanted to get rid of these imps first before we make that decision. You know what, I think we should go for the rocket launcher. I mean, it's right there, isn't it? So we can't really not go for it. So pick up that health there. So this is the switch. Oh, is the switch not working? I don't know if I've done anything to cause that or if that's just a design fault in this version, but we can't seem to activate this switch here. Interesting. Oh, and I fell down. It's fine. Because this level's so short, like, it's not that bad to backtrack. So we're going to head down here now. I think it's a Hell Knight. I think they've changed it to a Hell Knight. They do that a lot in the PS1 version of Doom 2. A lot of the Barons of Hell get swapped out for Hell Knights, and I suspect it's because they think the Barons of Hell are a bit too bullet spongy in these levels, which... only the developers could answer why that ended up being a thing. So we're going to make our way out of the level here. But I think this is a very fascinating look at, like, just how when a level gets, like, moved along in the order, it can the difficulty can spike differently. Because I died a few times recording this PS1 version. It's actually quite difficult on the PS1 version to get through that first area. But I'd love to know what you guys think of the Catacombs. Which version of the level do you enjoy, and do you think this should have been level 4 in place of the focus, or do you think it's better at level 22? I'd love to hear what your thoughts on that switch are. Thank you very much for watching.